be creepy and to watch Christmas horror movies. In this video, I'm ranking the 10 best Christmas horror movie kills. This video will include lots of spoilers for each movie that I'm going to discuss, so I'll leave some timestamps down below so you can skip ahead if you don't want to be spoiled. First on my list is Black Christmas from 2006. This remake is wildly different than the original. It's a lot meaner and a lot more insane. This movie centers on a sorority house where girls are being stalked by a killer named Billy, and we learn about his dark backstory and his connection to the house. One kill that stood out to me the most was when Melissa, played by Michelle Trachtenberg, is trying to escape. Coming in at number 9 is Tales from the Crypt, the segment, and All Through the House. This kill isn't as bloody and gory as some of the others on this list, but it's one of the most impactful to me. This story centers around a woman on Christmas Eve who decides to murder her husband. Unfortunately for her, there's also an escaped convict dressed as Santa who shows up outside her door. And she can't call the police because if she does, she'll alert them of what she did. So this becomes a cat and mouse game as the deadly Santa tries to get inside and kill her, and she tries to clean up the mess of her husband and keep her daughter safe. But unfortunately for her, her daughter lets Santa in.
He's here, Mummy. I let him in. It's Santa.
And he comes inside to play with mommy, and he does that by putting his hands around her neck and killing her. So just don't kill your husband on Christmas Eve, okay? Because it doesn't work out well. Coming in at number 8 is A Christmas Horror Story. This is a Christmas horror anthology that follows different stories. The one that stood out to me the most is the one focused on Santa, who is battling an evil Krampus. This is an epic battle between Santa, between good and evil, and we see Santa fighting off evil elves and eventually Krampus. But it's eventually revealed towards the end of the film that Santa isn't actually Santa.
Please don't kill me, Norman.
Norman? Who's Norman?
What the fuck is wrong with you, Norman?
It's just a real gut punch to you when you figure out what's going on and that he isn't actually Santa, and it's very depressing and sad, but very bold. A very bold choice for a Christmas horror. Coming in at number 7 is Better Watch Out. This is essentially Home Alone with a killer kid. So this story centers on a babysitter named Ashley who's babysitting this rich little bastard of a kid who wants to get her to fall for him, and he does so by tying her up and putting her through hell. One of the instances of him torturing her and tormenting her is he invites her current boyfriend over to visit, and he ties him up and decides to play a little Home Alone homage by throwing some paint cans over the banister to hit him in the head. The paint can slams into his head and delivers a nice bloody Christmas present to all of them watching. Coming in at number 6 is The Lodge. The Lodge is a very dark and heavy horror movie about this family who has just experienced a horrendous loss. The father is trying to rectify all of this and bring his kids closer to his new girlfriend by inviting them all to stay at this lodge in the middle of nowhere for Christmas. And for some reason, when they get there, he gets a work call and decides to leave them all there alone without him. Unfortunately, his children are complete and total psychopathic assholes, and they torment this poor girlfriend throughout the duration of the film. They mess with her psychologically and basically break her spirit and her mind down so that by the end of the movie, she decides that the only way to cleanse everybody and make everybody come together is by murdering them all. It's really bleak, it's very brutal, it's very sad, and it feels very real. Riley Keough is fantastic. Fuck those kids. Coming in at number 5 is Gremlins. So Gremlins is the fun little Christmas horror about a boy who receives a gremlin from his dad for Christmas, and he has to follow 3 strict rules or else. And he doesn't follow those rules, and then Gizmo multiplies into these evil little gremlins who are very mischievous, and they start running amok around the town and start messing with people, killing people. One of their little instances involves them standing outside Mrs. Deagle's home, and they're singing Christmas carols, and she freaks out. She tries to get away by going up her wheelchair.
Oh, I'm not ready. I'm not ready yet. I'm not ready.
comedic, it's funny and ridiculous, but also a brutal way to go. Coming in at number 4 is Krampus. Krampus is about a family that is spending Christmas Eve together, and unfortunately they somehow conjure up Krampus to come and ruin their Christmas. The family goes up to the attic to find their kids who have disappeared, and they discover that one of them is being eaten by a giant Jack-in-the-Box that has come to life.
Oh, come on.
It's so just over the top and ridiculous. It's unexpected. It's a brutal way to go, but the way the scene plays out, it's just chaotic and hilarious as you watch this family just kind of react to all these toys that have come to life. Coming in at number 3 is Inside. So this is a French extreme horror that is not for the faint of heart. It is one of the bloodiest movies I've ever watched, and set on Christmas Eve. So this follows an expecting mother who is really depressed because she was in a car accident with her baby daddy. He died. She's still alive. She still has to give birth to this baby. And some woman wants her baby. And she shows up outside her door. She somehow gets inside and basically torments this woman for the duration of the film. It's a fun little battle between this expectant mother and this crazy bitch. It doesn't end well for the expectant mother because this crazy lady, she finds a way to extract the baby from inside her. And that is one of the most brutal moments I could ever imagine in life on film. It's horrific, unforgettable, and it will make you feel completely horrible, which is something I love to feel on Christmas. Coming in at number 2 is Silent Night, Deadly Night. Silent Night, Deadly Night is a weird little bizarre Christmas horror movie about this kid who was traumatized by an event in his childhood. As all the Christmas horror movies are, they're all traumatized by something that happened involving Santa in their youth, and it messes with them later in life. So he dons on a Santa suit and starts killing people, and one of these people is a young, beautiful little woman played by Linnea Quigley, I don't know how you say her name. He decides that he's gonna kill her by thrusting her body on some antler horns. It's brutal, it's scary, and she can't escape because she's just helpless, and he just picks her up like she's a rag doll and just shoves her on there. Memorable, it's iconic. And coming in at number 1 is Black Christmas. So Black Christmas, it's a classic Christmas horror movie about a sorority house of girls that are being tormented by this caller, this creepy stalker. And then on Christmas Eve, the action ramps up when he decides to start killing them. It has a really good final girl and some really creepy moments throughout, and one of which is the death of Claire.
Who is it?
And that's not all, because he puts her body up in the attic, facing the window, and throughout the movie, you get glimpses of her body with this suffocation look, this bag over her head, and she's just like rocking in the chair. It's so scary. It's not overly bloody and over the top. It was such a simple kill, and suffocation stuff freaks me out. And this one, I think it just hit me hard, and just the fact that you see her throughout the movie, and he's just playing with her like she's a toy, a dead toy. It's upsetting, but it's one of the most iconic pieces of imagery in Christmas horror and in horror in general. So it's got to be number 1 for me. So there you have it. Those are 10 of the best Christmas horror kills. Let me know what you thought of my ranking and how you would rank yours. If there's any on this list that I missed that you think should be included or that would be on your list, let me know what Christmas horror movies you plan on watching this season. So much for watching, guys. I'll catch you next time. Merry Christmas.